3 True Horror Moms Stories. In today's video, we will be talking about the mothers who are known to give life for their children and taking them brutally. So this is not for the people who are sensitive, as it can give you sadness for a long time. So let's begin with our first story. Number 1. This is the chilling and horrible story of a mother who microwaved her own 7-week-old daughter and killed her. But how and why did she do that? Who can think of doing this brutal act? Ka Yang was born in 1981 in California. She had 3 children and was doing fine in life. There were no reports of abusing children or anything like that until one day, police found her daughter burnt like roasted meat in her kitchen. When she was caught, she was denying the fact that she herself had committed the crime. She argued that she had an epileptic seizure when she placed her daughter in the microwave. She further argued that she was working on the computer and was holding her daughter, but then she lost consciousness. She further said that when she woke up on the ground, she saw her daughter, Mirabelle, injured on the floor nearby the space heater. There were a lot of inconsistencies to her story. Her daughter was found in a state where 60% of her body was burned. Her internal organs were damaged due to the microwave radiation. Detailed investigations reported that she was in the microwave for about 4 to 5 minutes at least. Ka Yang's attorney has also argued that Yang was suffering from epilepsy for a long time, and she hasn't killed her daughter deliberately. Also, she had no criminal record in her past life, no abuse, and no other criminal record, so she could not have killed her. Moreover, during the investigation, she also argued that her baby got those burns from an accidental exposure to the space heater. She had many false statements which had led investigators to believe that she was lying the whole time. There were a lot of inconsistencies in her statements. After many questions and inquiries, she accepted her crime and told the truth to the jury and everyone. When they told her that they found the pacifier in the microwave, then she said, "I placed my baby in the microwave and pressed the start button. Then I cooked her for about 5 minutes." She cooked her. Literally, that's really sad and unbearable to hear from a mother. Mothers are known to give life to children, but what has Yang done to her? Pathologists found that the small intestines and stomach of the baby were fried inside. Her lawyers also doubted the mental health of Yang, who was earlier defending her. Yang was sentenced to 26 years in prison. Indeed, this was really difficult to tell about this story, as it makes us think about how a mother can do that to her own child. Number 2. This is a story of a mom, Angela McContley, who killed her 5-year-old daughter, Jeanette Maples, in 2009. This is a really bizarre case of history. She did some horrible things to her daughter in the name of disciplining her. Angela did some cruel things to her daughter, including starving her and torturing her to death. Angela was born in California, where she lived with her 2 brothers and parents. Her mother was murdered when she was only 5 years old. Later, after graduation, she met a man who was old, and he got her addicted to drugs. She married another man later and gave birth to 2 sons and a daughter. Her daughter's name was Maple. Child Protective Services took her 3 children because of her abuse and neglect toward them. But later she won the case and she got her kids back. Later, she married another man named Richard McContley and moved to Oregon in 2006. Her behavior toward her daughter Maple was always different from the other 3. She started abusing her physically and tortured her mentally. Maple used to visit the school nurse for treatments of her bruises on her skin, and gradually all the other kids and teachers started to become curious about her injuries. Maple was afraid to tell them at the start, but one day she told that she was being abused in her home by her mother. Human Services visited the home and questioned the mother. She was a big liar, and she made them believe her words. They left Maple with her at home. Later, Angela kept Maple at the home, saying that she would be homeschooled. She made her cut off all communication with the outside world. The only person who was concerned for Maple was her grandmother, the mother-in-law of Angela. She tried to contact with her grandchildren, but Angela never let her do so. Therefore, her grandmother contacted the children's welfare a lot of times before Maple's death. Maple was malnourished and looked like a little girl even though she was 15 years old. Her blood was on the walls as she was beaten with belts by her mother. Her mother used to take her to a torture room made for her, and to hide her screams, she used to turn on the vacuum cleaner. After an investigation of Maple's dead body, it was found that she was dehydrated and starved to the point that she had to drink water from the toilet. Her face became disfigured due to beatings and improper healing of wounds. On December 9, 2009, Angela called 911 and informed them that Maple has stopped breathing suddenly. Firefighters reached there and saw her lying on the floor in a dark room on her back. She had a lot of bandages on her face and head. Her hips had wounds that were indescribable. Angela was sentenced to death earlier, but it was later changed to life in prison. Number 3. This horrifying true story will leave you shocked, as you will be forced to think about how a mother can do such a cruel act to their children. This story is about a woman, Andrea Yates, who drowned her own 5 children in the bathtub. In childhood, she suffered from bulimia, and she also used to have suicidal thoughts. In adulthood, she was diagnosed with depression and also schizophrenia. In the early years of her marriage, she lived a normal, religious, and simple life with her husband Russell. But due to biblical teachings from a family friend, she started to have a belief that her children were destined for hell. The only way to save her children was to kill them before Satan could take them after returning to Earth. Andrea Yates was born in 1964 in Texas. She was a valedictorian and also a swimming team captain. She graduated in 1986 and worked as a nurse in 1989. She met her husband there while she was working as a registered nurse. They married in 1993. The couple had 4 boys and a girl. She had postpartum depression after giving each birth. After her girl Mary was born, she was so much indulged in a religious teaching that she had a serious mental condition. Andrea was heavily influenced by the teachings of Warnecki, who used to preach righteousness in her college time. She purchased a camper van from Warnecki and started to live there and started to homeschool them. But at one time, she took a heavy dose of antidepressants that led her to a coma for 10 days. When she woke up, she held a knife to her throat, saying that the woman who is hellbound would have to see her children burn in hell. Her husband saved her right in time. When she was asked questions at the prison about why she has done what she did to her children, she replied that it was their fate because they were her children. They were not righteous, and they would eventually have gone to hell if she hadn't killed them. Before she killed her children, she was also visiting a psychiatrist, Dr. Eileen Starbranch, who was treating her. She later told her that she had met only 5 patients in her life with that kind of serious mental illness. She prescribed Haldol, an antidepressant, to heal Andrea. Andrea was hospitalized a lot of times in her life due to her health conditions. Andrea stopped taking Haldol in June 2001. After 3 weeks, Russell left for work, and he had planned to ask her mother to take parenting duties an hour later from Andrea. But it was too late. It was the time when she made cereal for her 4 elder boys. Then she took Mary, who was just 6 months old at the time, to the bathtub, filled it with 6 inches of water, and drowned her. She then asked the boys one by one to come, and she did the same thing to them. The oldest boy, Noah, tried to run, but she caught him too and drowned him. As she was killing them, she put their bodies to bed. When she was caught, she confessed to her crimes and told that she killed her own children. She told that she waited for Russell to go to work, and she also tied their dog to stop it from interfering in her act. After many trials, she was found not guilty by the court, and she was sent to Kernville State Hospital. She has to live in the hospital until she dies. That was all for today's video. What do you think about these mothers and their brutal acts? Tell us in the comments section. Thanks for watching.